one guy who shoves live fish down his pants.
Weird. But I don't know, man. The evidence speaks for itself.
Holy
Shit!
Oh! What in the holy shit just happened?
We are talking Scarred to Death, and this is written and directed by Joe Leon, who actually has a small role in the movie as well. I have to be honest with you, I suspect they may have actually spelled scared wrong in this movie, because there's really no mention of scarring, and there's lots of your fears are coming back to haunt you, so I'm wondering if this is meant to be scared to death, but they've misspelled it. Who knows? Anyway, Scarred to Death, as it is known, is a found footage movie, and by the looks of it, extraordinarily low budget found footage movie. I had a look at this Joe Leon, and he has a YouTube channel which looks like he's just amateur filmmaking. So this looks like an attempt to do a feature-length movie, put it to like Tubi and Bob's Your Uncle. What is the story? Okay, so it focuses on a group of friends who agree to go into the forest where this guy's son had supposedly committed suicide. This father doesn't believe the son was depressed, like the police have said, and he thinks there's more to the story, so he wants this kind of film crew to go in and have a look. And he believes that there was supernatural elements involved, so he offers this group of friends $500 to go into the woods, and a further $5,000 if they can kind of capture evidence of supernaturals. So these guys decide they're going to take him up on this offer, but try and fake filming supernatural stuff. But of course, when they are in the woods, they come across real supernatural stuff. Now, what will happen? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So let us discuss what I think works in this movie's favour. Now, like I said, this is a very, very low budget movie. So we have to have expectations tempered somewhat, you might say. So I will say I think the conceit here to get these young people out in the woods and filming stuff is a reasonable premise. The idea of paying these guys to try and capture something on film, I think is a reasonable one, and I think it's fair to say that, young people may well try and cobble together some type of false evidence to try and claim this money. I mean, they justify it by saying they're trying to ease his mind by giving him what he wants, but ultimately that's what they want. So I think that the actual setup is relatively kind of sound. Once we're in the woods and things start to go wrong, these group of friends do try and get out of the woods as soon as stuff starts going sideways, more or less, which again seems like a sensible thing that people would genuinely do. One of them going to try to stay for a little bit, but eventually they are trying to get out, which, sensible decision in a horror film. And there is one or two shots that I think work in this movie. But it's meagre pickings, to be honest. I have to be honest, this film looks like it was shot with a group of friends over a weekend, just for fun, and that they've decided to kind of put it out. So, we have, again, yes, I appreciate this is a very, very low budget movie, but when you click on to watch this on a streaming site or buy the DVD or whatever it is, you don't care the circumstance, you just want to know the quality of the product. And the quality isn't good. So it is a found footage movie, and the general rule of thumb with these is you can kind of get away with some of the kind of the low budget things that you might not be able to get away with in a traditionally shot style movie, but you have to have an element of realism, an element of the grittier down to earthness. And this movie doesn't have that. And this is partly down to horrendous acting. The cast here, even playing the versions of themselves or whatever it is they're doing, they're just not good acting. And it's, again, for a found footage movie, that I think it really stands out. In particular, one actor who I won't point out really overcooks it, and it's just horribly distracting. The dialogue This movie tries to have some comedic elements to it. It just feels really shoehorned in, to be honest. Like, let's have a few gags. It's silly. We have a character that dies in the film. I won't say who or you know, any more than that, but at least one will die. And then you would expect, again, in a raw found footage style movie, that you would see genuine like emotions and stuff, but there's nothing like that. So the acting is poor. What's the bulk of the screen time? Walking in the woods, shaky cam, sitting around a campfire, talking. That's kind of most of the movie. When we do see supernatural elements, it's After Effects style CGI that's going to have been plonked on over someone. Like I said, there's one or two instances, if you freeze frame it, that I think looks good. I've actually put one on the thumbnail. But for the most part, it's just like really obvious CGI. Or I don't even know if you could call it CGI. It's like drag and drop effects. And sometimes less is more. I mean, I think maybe there could have been a better way to try and have something more supernatural looking on screen. And it's just a standard walking in the woods, something chasing you around with a bunch of non-actors, really. It's a really hard movie to find genuine kind of positives are. I mean, normally you can kind of find something, and I appreciate this as a low budget, and maybe it's just a stepping stone. But for a general viewer, and that's how I've got to think of when I'm doing a review, is like, is it worth watching? And the answer is probably not, because it's just not interesting. The characters don't seem realistic. You know, the dialogue doesn't seem particularly enthralling. The acting is poor. The storyline setup is okay, but once we kind of get into the woods, it's lots of kind of like spinning of wheels and kind of doesn't really end up going very far, you know. And the VFX and the supernatural elements just don't work. So this is a 2 out of 10, I'm sorry to say. This one is really quite amateur. So there you go. Anyway, have you seen it? What are your thoughts? If you have seen it, please do let me know, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.